The sky cracked open wide, and the mountains screamed with rain. The wind tore roots from earth, and the rivers burst their chain. He stumbled through the dark, till a shadow blocked the gale, a dolmen's crouching shape like a ship with shattered sail. He pressed against its stones where the moss was cold and deep. The thunder's roaring voice was a drum to call to sleep. Beneath the ancient capstone, the air grew still and thin, and dreams began to glow like a fire lit within. The slabs began to hum, and the shadows learned to speak. From under earth they rose, with a light behind each cheek. They whispered, "Walk with us through the turning of the years, through trial, song and sign, through your courage and your fears." A cave of winter stone closed around his startled sight. A tiger stalked in gloom as a bear sat wrapped in night. They waited on a voice that would grant the human frame and test them both in turn for the right to earn that name. The tiger turned away when her hunger bit too deep. The bear endured the days in a steadfast, patient keep. From fur to skin she bloomed as the final trial was done, and heaven placed its crown in the rising of the sun. He felt the weighted hush as the vision's truth took hold. That change is forged in time and in hearts that still are bold. The spirits watched him stand in the quiet frozen air, and marked his will to walk with the patience of the bear. The night became a map in the heavens stretched above. The dipper swung its arc through the dark, the spirits' love. Its points became a trail over hill and wind-worn plain, where clans had moved like clouds in the sun and in the rain. He saw their phantom steps as they crossed the mountainside, through forests black with age, where the lunar rivers guide. Their songs were braided threads in the wind's unbroken loom, and each new voice was sown where the starlight found its bloom. The pattern fixed its mark on the path beneath his feet, binding each road he took to the ones the stars repeat. The spirits closed the map as the east began to pale, and set his course ahead on the ancient migrant's trail. A dragon rose in mist from the sea's unending swell. A mountain spirit bowed where the frost and pine roots dwell. A bridge of cloud and foam stretched between their thrones of stone, where earth and water met as two halves of one bright bone. The dragon breathed the rain till the soil was deep and green. The mountain loosed the streams where the silver ice had been. They traded tide for rock, they exchanged the cloud for ground, till land and sea were locked in a bond both deep and sound. He stepped upon the bridge as the tide began to sway, and felt the ground below shift to match the sea's own play. The spirits fixed his stance where the two great forces meet, to walk the line of strength with the river at his feet. The golden sun rose east as the silver moon rode west, and they met in dawn and dusk at the sky's unbroken crest. Around them turned the winds, frost's bite and summer's flame, while 8 bright gates swung wide at the turning of each name. He watched the gates unlock at the call of solstice day, the planting feast in spring and the harvest in decay. The people's shadows danced in the script of light and shade, each hour's work and rest in the balance seasons made. The dance was fixed in wheel as the winds began to turn, each season gave its gift, each in time its due return. The spirits placed his steps where the sun and moon combine, to keep his road in time with the earth's unbroken line. A wheel of black and gold spread its spokes in ordered span, with 64 bright signs for the fate of beast and man. Each sign a seed of chance, yet together formed a ring, where all that was or will be could find its shaping spring. The wheel began to turn, and the omens came to grow. A market day in rain, or a path through falling snow. Each picture branched and merged, yet returned to meet the frame, its spokes still pointing into the center all the same. He watched the turning slow as the final sign was cast. Its pattern bound the road to the echoes of the past. The spirits stilled the wheel, and they spoke the law once more, that every open gate is a gate once crossed before. A shaman stood in robes by a fire's wavering crown, the altar lined with gifts, and the chants in ordered sound. Yet all the rites held pause till a signal lit the day, a blossom on the wind or a bird that marked the way. He watched her lift her head to the cry of swallows near. The drumbeats found their pace and the people drew in clear. The ancient form was set, but its start obeyed the sign, the season's breath deciding when spirit met the line. The moment burned in gold as the omens called the frame, the timeless shape of rites tied to nature's fleeting flame. The spirits marked his steps with the lesson carved in air. That form must bend to time if it's meant to hold the care. A village street awoke to the pounding drum's command, and the players marched in lines with the ribbons bright in hand. Their music turned the air into soil and seed and rain, a planting, growth and harvest sung over hill and plain. He saw the elders nod as the rhythms shaped the ground. Some heard the song as law, some as mirror of the round. The steps were both a call to the work that lay ahead, and also told the tale of the cycles fully fed. The path was made of sound, yet it shifted with the ear. Command or quiet truth, each was real and each sincere. The spirits drew him on where the drums could guide the day, to learn that truth can teach in a thousand-voiced array. A field of young green rice stretched beneath the waxing moon, its blades like silver spears in the glow of early June. Above, the stars were placed in the form the elders knew, the same that marked the time when the lunar blooms came through. He saw the moon's pale arc match the swelling of each grain, and the constellations turned as the seedlings drank the rain. The cycles locked in step, root and star in measured dance, each bound to keep the pace that the other did advance. The pattern sealed its truth in the mirrored turns above, that life and sky will keep to the forms they both must love. The spirits placed his feet where the furrow met the light, to walk the shared design of the soil and starlit night. A cradle set in reeds bore a child to distant lands, and the river bore him on as the reeds released their hands. The spirits changed the scene, and the child appeared again, in mountains, in the snow, in the courts of mighty men. He saw the tale retold with the signs in shifting guise, one swaddled in a pelt, one with cranes before his eyes. The frame was still the same, though the colors changed their hue, each culture weaving in what its heart and homeland knew. The story's bones remained, though the flesh was born anew. The structure held the path, while the symbols shaped the view. The spirits led him on through the many-named domain, where one clear stream could wear many waters in its chain. A woman cloaked in fur left the forest's shadowed floor to walk among the men and to share their daily store. A bargain bound her shape, yet the promise met its breach, and sorrow turned her steps to the form she could not keep. The scene was drawn anew on a distant foreign shore, a crane with silver plumes in a fisher's woven door. Again the vow was made, and again the thread was torn, and consequence returned with the same unchanging morn. The road was walked by all, though the lands and tongues divide. The causeless breach will bring the same turning of the tide. The spirits showed him this as the vision's light grew thin, that law beneath the tale is the law that lies within. A shaman set her rites on the altar's ordered span, the fruit and fish aligned in the way the years began. But clouds of grief drew near from a death the night before, and sorrow bent the frame of the chants the spirits bore. He watched her take a shell from the river's quiet bed and place it by the wine where the sacred rice was spread. A single song was changed to a mournful, deeper tone. The form still held its shape, yet the shift was sharply shown. The spirits traced the point where the balance found its seam, where form could bend and bow without breaking from the scheme. They set him in that place where the change could still remain, a sign that keeps the whole though it answers present pain. A stage of painted masks came alive in sudden cheer. The trickster danced in red while the noble stood austere. Yet one quick change in role sent the satire's aim aside, the frame still whole, though new was the target it applied. He saw the masks replaced, and the jesters doubled down. The lords were cast as fools, and the fools wore wisdom's crown. The music swelled and turned, till the festival's own name became a different truth, though the bones remained the same. The spirits marked the line where a single change can start, and where a greater shift can transform the whole in part. They taught him how to read in the stories played and told, the difference between near and far from the pattern's hold. The elders sat in ring at the season's open feast, each place aligned to winds and the spirits they appeased. The north held frost's domain, and the south gave summer's grace, while east and west each kept their appointed sacred space. He watched one elder late and another take his chair, The offerings went astray, and the incense choked the air. The chants fell out of step, and the drum forgot its beat, till hands returned the seats and the flow grew clean and neat. The circle's law was clear in the balance kept and shown, that each must hold the place where their spirit seed was sown. The spirits fixed his gaze on the pattern round the ground, where order makes the bridge by which blessings may be bound. A festival began with the drummer's measured stride. The dancers turned in pairs by the fire's crackling side. Yet each set step was bound to a season's rightful claim, a winter beat for frost, and a summer beat for flame. He saw them weave in shifts, yet the rules would not be crossed. A harvest tune for spring was a harmony soon lost. The change was made by law, each new form within its place, the heart of structure held though it bloomed in different face. The spirits marked the truth in the measured turning game, that change without its bounds is a fire without a frame. They set him where the steps keep their roots in steady ground, to learn that all new forms must respect the shape they've found. A tale was told in hush of a hero's shining pride, who faced a final test with his loyal friends beside. But greed had marked his hand, and the flaw came into view. The path began to tilt, and the foe at once broke through. He watched the ending fall with the warning loud and plain. The hero lost his crown through the weakness uncontained. The spirits wove the scene with the colors sharp and deep, so none could miss the wound in the place they ought to keep. The story's weight was clear as the embers dimmed to grey, that faults will show the breach where the night can force its way. They left him with the sign in the place the hero fell, a mark to guard the heart from the cracks it hides too well. Two brothers came in sight on a path of tilled and sown. One carried seeds of care, one a purse he called his own. The younger gave with hands that the earth repaid in kind, the elder took in greed, leaving empty fields behind. He walked beside their road till the turn of fate was cast. The poor man's home was blessed, while the rich one's luck ran past. The pairing stood in light, as the seasons turned once more, the gift became the gate, and the greed the locked-up door. The spirits showed the pair as a sign the earth would keep, that what the hands release is the harvest one will reap. They marked the lesson clear in the brothers' parting ways, for kindness plants the root where the longest fortune stays. A maiden clothed in stars came to earth in shining thread. A mortal claimed her robe, and they shared the farmer's bread. But in the mirrored glass, a man was bound above, by ties to sky's domain and the chains of mortal love. He watched the tales exchange as the loom of fate was turned. The choice of one below was the choice the sky had spurned. The same soft bond was gift, and the same soft bond was chain. Each thread a path to joy, and a path to certain pain. The spirits wove the cloth till the patterns joined as one. Two faces on the weave, though the thread was never spun. They left him with the truth that each tale will wear its twin, and both will speak the law of the knot they're knotted in. A palace under waves gleamed with coral, gold, and shell, and its halls were lit by pearls where the ocean spirits dwell. A single seal was sought by a hero in the tide, a token for the king in the mountains far and wide. He saw the quest complete, yet the journey was not done, for the trials were yet to come in the arc the fates had spun. The seal was but a note in a song that spanned the years, its music built of hope, of temptation, and of tears. The spirits turned the scene, so the whole was seen at last, and the smallest deed was thread in the cloth from first to past. He learned that scale will shift, but the truth remains the same, and the part must serve the whole in the story's greater frame. From hill to misted shore came the goblins wild with glee, each carrying their gold or their tricks for those they'd see. Some brought the farmer wealth, and some would steal his grain away, yet all were kin in root, though their deeds could bend or sway. He crossed from town to town where their pranks would shift in style. One blessed a child with luck, one deceived with patient guile. The tales all bent toward one, a strange gift from stranger hand, a bond between the worlds that no law could fully stand. The spirits placed their sign on the clan, both kind and sly, so that all who cross between bear the same unblinking eye. He learned the tribe was one, though its faces changed in hue, a truth to guide the roads when the shapes are never true. A hero climbed the peak where the mountain spirits dwell, and he faced their trials in snow and in ringing temple bell. Yet on the final height came a maiden crowned in flame. Her robe of cloud and light spoke a far and different name. He saw the story's frame slip from mountain's rooted hold, to join the skyward path in the marriage fate foretold. The hero's road had turned, yet the roots were never gone, and the past was still the bridge to the world he journeyed on. The visions broke in fire as the dolmen shook and sang. The spirits closed their ring and the ancient voices rang. Each tale became a star in the sky that crowned his head, a map to walk the world by the roads the dead had tread. The storm was gone at last, and the morning washed the stone, and the dolmen stood in peace as the wind around it moaned. He stepped into the day with the sky's full map in hand, to weave the living thread through the heart of sea and land.